When it comes to solving violent murder cases, detectives never know how they might catch a big break. For cold case cops in India, help comes from the most unlikely source.
It is December of 1983, near the city of Agra. The Singh family of Bod, India, welcomes a lovely boy into the world who they name Titu.
He's precocious, but one day he starts behaving strangely. He claims he has a beautiful wife named Uma and wealthy parents in the neighboring city of Agra, and he even owns a radio shop.
He further tells his family, "I'm not from here." His name is not Titu, but it is Sutesh Verma.
दुकान पे लिख रही है वाला कोई कहानी पता पड़ेगी भैया ले गया अच्छा लिख के.
He also tells them something else quite shocking, that he was murdered.
At first, Titu's parents are dismissive. Our son just has an active imagination, like many children. But when they tell him to knock it off, he gets incensed. He's angry. He says these things happened to him.
He tells his mother that his wife, Uma, wears much nicer saris than she does. His home in Agra is bigger and cleaner and nicer, and by age 4, he's absolutely adamant that he comes from a better life and better circumstances.
In 1987, Titu's big brother Ashok decides to help out with a little recon.
He drives around town looking for this radio shop. He doesn't find a radio shop named Sutesh, but he does find one named Suresh. He goes inside, he goes up to the counter. There's a nice woman at the counter. She says Suresh isn't there because he died in August of 1983.
She also says that she's Suresh's widow, and her name is Uma.
He asks how Suresh died, and Uma tells him that he was murdered.
Ashok is surprised. The story's starting to line up. Ashok tells Uma about Titu's claims that he is her husband come back to life.
Intrigued, Uma travels to Bod with her in-laws to hear Titu's strange claims for herself.
Titu recognizes them immediately. He calls Uma by her first name, and he asks, why are they arriving in a car he doesn't recognize? What happened to my Fiat? Uma is shocked. How would he know that their car was a Fiat?
नाम क्या है?
सुरेश.
इसका फोटो है?
मेरा.
कब खिंचवाया था?
मेरा पास था मैंने तो पहले खिंचवाया.
Titu doesn't just know intimate details of Uma's deceased husband's life, but also his unsolved death.
He remembers driving home, honking his car horn twice to have Uma come out and open the gate for him. And then he remembers this next part vividly. 2 men coming down the street. One takes a gun out and shoots him in the head.
Unbelievably, Titu's memory matches the police report. But he's also able to recall something that's evaded the authorities for over 5 years.
Titu claims to remember one of the assailants as someone who Suresh did business with at the radio shop, Siddiq Johadian.
There's also another strange piece of evidence uncovered.
On Titu's head, there is a birthmark on the right side and a scar on the left side. And both of these roughly correspond with the entrance and exit wounds as per Suresh's 1983 autopsy. With all this circumstantial evidence, the courts take extraordinary action. They allow reincarnation evidence into the docket and allow the police to reopen an investigation.
The police actually locate the 2 men that Titu remembers. They are charged with murder, found guilty, and sent to prison.
It's got to be tough enough for police to trust a reincarnated witness. Now imagine one that doesn't exist.
It is 1897 in the Allegheny Mountains of West Virginia. A blacksmith named Erasmus Shue, known as Trout, settles down with his bride, Zona.
It's a chilly January morning, and things are kind of slow at Trout's blacksmith shop. So he sends his assistant, Andy, back to the home he shares with Zona in order to find out if she needs any errands being run.
Andy knocks on the door, doesn't get an answer, so he carefully lets himself in, and what he finds is terrible.
Zona is at the bottom of the stairs, dead.
Andy desperately calls for Trout. And when he sees his wife's body, he is overcome with grief.
He is crying and wailing, and he sends Andy to go get the coroner, which is Dr. George Knapp.
Trout carries Zona up the stairs and is immediately just beside himself.
Knapp comes to the house with Andy. Trout is screaming hysterically, and Dr. Knapp can get nowhere near the poor girl's body.
Because of Trout's emotional state, Dr. Knapp does not examine the body. Instead, he determines the cause of death as an eternal faint, a euphemism at the time for a sudden heart failure.
There's a tradition within the community that the women of the town would come and prepare a woman's body for burial by cleaning it and dressing it. But when the women of the town arrive, Trout has already done this. She's wearing a crisp, high-collar dress with a large crepe veil, and he's even wrapped her favorite scarf around her neck.
Trout puts Zona's body in a pine box, and she's buried the next day in the local churchyard with all the townfolk present.
Weeks pass, and then one night, Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, is sleeping in her bedroom when, out of nowhere, she sees her dead daughter, Zona, and Zona points at her own throat as if to tell her mother something.
She kind of chalks this up to, I am a grieving mother, my brain is playing tricks on me, but then the next night the same thing happens again. It happens a third night, and then a fourth night. After this, Mary Jane is convinced they need to look into this death, and she actually gets in touch with Dr. Knapp and says, I think we need to exhume my daughter's body.
When Trout gets wind of this, he is incensed, arguing that he does not want his wife's body to be disturbed.
Despite Trout's protests, Zona's body is dug up, and when they remove the scarf Trout placed around her neck, a brutal truth reveals itself.
They find markings of strangulation. Of course, with murder charges, they always look at the spouse first, and Trout's actions were considered suspect. His carrying on and crying, keeping the doctor from examining the body, point to someone who's trying to conceal evidence.
Trout is immediately arrested, and he's put on trial for the murder of his wife, Zona Shue.
In court, Trout's attorney attempts to make Zona's mother seem crazy for suggesting that her daughter had come to her in an apparition. But the problem is, the forensics back up her story.
The jury sides with Zona's mother, and I suppose by extension Zona's ghost. They find Trout guilty and sentence him to life in prison, but they also set a very unusual legal precedent.
Zona Shue's case is the only time in recorded history of the state that a ghost actually provided testimony that resulted in the conviction of their killer.